I had moved here in 1976 to take a night rewrite job for the Tucson Citizen, and the week I arrived here, these massive water rate increases aimed at promoting conservation took effect in Tucson, right in the middle of July, and the water rates rose 20, 30, 40%, and people went nuts, and they recalled the city council members who approved it. And because I had just gotten here, it just smacked me in the face. I'm in a desert, we don't have enough water, but yet we're recalling these people. There's a lot of contradictions here. And I think I wasn't even covering it then. That was 5 years before I started covering it, but I said, this is the biggest story here. This is what I want to do. But it took me 5 years to actually start doing it.
And then what got you to this story, the Colorado River Reckoning?
Well, for years I've been writing about the impacts of drought, climate change, all of that on the river, and how the water was shrinking, the amount of water was shrinking, the reservoirs were dropping, people were getting increasingly concerned. And this year, it became really clear that the system was really on the edge. And it was a combination of wanting to see Glen Canyon again, because I knew that with the Lake Powell down, there was a lot of the old Glen Canyon that had mystically reappeared. And secondly, this interview I did that I just sort of stumbled into with this guy. He was a geography professor at Dartmouth, but he was on a federal task force monitoring the drought. And he went on in really excruciating but intelligent detail about how he felt the system was on the edge of collapse. And he pointed out one fact after another, and some people rebutted him, but you couldn't deny the facts he was pointing out, that the reservoirs were not holding up, the system that we had put in place was not working right now, and the only question was, how much do we have to fix it? And these two things drew me in together, because we're seeing the impacts of it in one place and the theory behind it in another. And that was the draw. That said, okay, we have to do this.
So a couple questions about both of those things. How did you come to learn that the beauty of Glen Canyon was re-emerging as the water went down?
In 2002, Lake Powell crashed again. And in the next few years, but it crashed a lot, but it didn't get as low as it was now. Well, Glen Canyon started reappearing then. Okay, and then it got covered up again because the drought ended. Okay, so this time, you just heard it. There were some articles. The New Yorker had an article, and I had my own angle I wanted to pursue, so I was determined to do it, even though the New Yorker had done it and others had done it. It was just something it was something that had to be done. And I had been covering all this for so long that I felt I had something more to say than maybe some average person, some other journalist, even an outstanding one, might not have to say, because they weren't from here and they hadn't been covering it.